Have you ever made a mistake that turned out to be brilliant? One of those happy accidents that changes everything? Well, sometimes, the most world-changing discoveries don't come from a grand, perfectly executed plan. They don't start with a dramatic eureka moment in a gleaming, futuristic lab. No, sometimes they begin with a simple mistake, a strange result, something everyone else would have thrown in the trash. This is one of those stories. Our story begins in 1965. The world is buzzing with new technology. Space exploration is on everyone's mind, and the automotive industry is booming. At a DuPont laboratory, a brilliant but unassuming chemist named Stephanie Kwolek is deep into a project. Her task wasn't to invent a super material or change the world of personal safety. Her goal was much more practical, almost mundane. Create a new, lightweight yet super strong fiber to reinforce car tires. The objective was simple: make tires stronger so cars could be more fuel efficient. It was an important project for DuPont, but certainly not one that was expected to make headlines around the globe. Stephanie was meticulous, spending countless hours mixing different chemical solutions, hoping to create a new liquid crystal polymer that could be spun into the perfect fiber. Day after day, she experimented with different compounds, searching for that one breakthrough. It was a process of trial and error, a routine familiar to any scientist. But on one particular day, something went wrong, or so it seemed. After hours of careful work, preparing yet another batch of chemical solution, Stephanie noticed something unusual. One of her mixtures looked completely different from the rest. Instead of the clear, thick, molasses-like consistency she was expecting, this solution was cloudy, thin, and opaque. It looked like buttermilk or thinned-out milk. It was, by all accounts, a failure. The solution didn't look right. It didn't behave right, and standard wisdom in the lab dictated that a cloudy mixture like this would never spin into a usable fiber. In fact, it was likely to clog the delicate spinneret machine, a costly and time-consuming piece of equipment to clean. Her colleagues, experienced chemists themselves, took one look at the strange liquid and gave her some straightforward advice. "Throw it away, Stephanie. It's ruined." It won't work. It was the logical thing to do. Why waste time and risk damaging expensive equipment on a mixture that was clearly a dud? But Stephanie had a gut feeling, a scientist's intuition. She was curious. What if this wasn't a failure? What if this strange, milky appearance was a sign of something new? Something different? Despite the skepticism and the warnings from her peers, she refused to just pour it down the drain. She felt a compelling need to see it through. She had to know what would happen. So, she pushed back. She insisted on testing it. Getting permission to use the spinneret machine wasn't easy. The technician who ran the machine was hesitant, worried that her bad solution would clog the tiny hair-sized holes in the spinneret, causing a major headache. But Stephanie was persistent. She trusted her instincts over the textbook expectations. Finally, the technician reluctantly agreed. With a sense of nervous anticipation, they poured the thin, cloudy liquid into the machine. The spinneret is designed to force a polymer solution through tiny holes to create long, continuous strands, or fibers. As the machine whirred to life and began to process Stephanie's strange concoction, what came out on the other side was simply astonishing. The fibers that emerged were not weak or brittle as everyone had predicted. In fact, they were the complete opposite. The material was exceptionally stiff and incredibly strong. It was unlike anything they had ever seen before. The initial tests were so off the charts that they thought the testing equipment itself must be broken. They ran the tests again. And again. The results were the same every time. The fibers from this failed experiment were, pound for pound, 5 times stronger than steel. They were also incredibly lightweight and highly resistant to heat. Stephanie Kwolek hadn't just made a better fiber for tires. She had stumbled upon a completely new category of synthetic material. She had just invented what the world would soon come to know as Kevlar. The impact of this accidental discovery was immediate and monumental. While Kevlar did eventually find its way into high-performance racing tires, its true potential was realized far beyond the automotive industry. Its incredible strength-to-weight ratio made it the perfect material for body armor. Suddenly, there was a lightweight, flexible material that could stop a bullet, Bulletproof vests made from Kevlar became standard issue for police officers and soldiers, saving countless lives on the streets and on the battlefield. The material was woven into helmets, protecting heads from shrapnel and impact. But its applications didn't stop there. Kevlar was used to reinforce airplane fuselages, making them stronger and more resilient. It was used in the construction of spacecraft, protecting them from the harsh conditions of space. It found its way into everything from fire-resistant gloves for firefighters to durable sporting goods, like tennis rackets and skis, and even fiber-optic cables running under the ocean. A so-called failed experiment, a cloudy liquid that was nearly thrown away, became an invisible shield protecting millions of people around the world. All because one chemist decided to trust her curiosity. Looking back, what makes this story so powerful is the human element. Stephanie Kwolek wasn't a maverick trying to break all the rules. She was a dedicated scientist doing her job. She never set out with the grand ambition to revolutionize personal safety or to create a material that would save millions of lives. Her initial goal was far more modest: to help make better tires. But her true genius was not just in her chemical knowledge, but in her unwavering curiosity and her courage to question the expected outcome. When everyone else saw a mistake, she saw a mystery. When others told her to give up, she chose to investigate. She followed her intuition, even when it went against the conventional wisdom of her colleagues. Her story is a powerful reminder that innovation doesn't always follow a straight line. It's often messy, unpredictable, and born from the very moments that look like failures. Because she refused to quit, because she honored that nagging voice of curiosity, Stephanie Kwolek didn't just change science, she changed history forever. So the next time you encounter an unexpected result or make a mistake, maybe pause for a moment before you dismiss it. Sometimes, the world's greatest breakthroughs, the most significant discoveries, don't come from getting everything right. They come from the smallest of accidents, the strangest of outcomes. And sometimes, the world's toughest armor, a shield that protects heroes, begins with a quiet, determined woman who simply refused to throw her work away. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this story as inspiring as I did, please hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about the amazing, accidental discoveries that have shaped our world. We'll see you in the next one.